Welcome to UX Research Sutra. We're the podcast that really tries to dive into the minds behind great user research.
Exactly. And today, we're cracking open Chapter 1 of Erika Hall's fantastic book, Just Enough Research.
That's right. The chapter's called Enough is Enough. And honestly, it kicks off with such a memorable story.
Oh, the segue. You mean ginger?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Remember all that hype back in, 2001? Top secret, massive investment.
Huge names involved. It was going to revolutionize personal transport, apparently. The buzz was incredible.
Seriously. And then they revealed the segue.
And let's just say it didn't quite change the world in the way people expected. More like mall cops and tourist groups.
Totally. It kind of became a bit of a punchline. So you have to ask, with all that initial excitement and, money, what went wrong?
Well, that's exactly Hall's point. The Segway story is like the perfect cautionary tale about ignoring context.
Context, okay, unpack that a bit.
She argues that transportation isn't just about inventing a cool machine, it's a whole system, with established rules and conventions.
Right, like how we know where to walk, where bikes go, where cars go. It prevents chaos, basically.
Exactly. We have walking, wheelchairs, bikes, motorbikes, cars, sidewalks, streets, and you need somewhere to park the thing at either end.
Simple stuff, but crucial.
And beyond the infrastructure, think about why people travel. Getting to work on time, school runs.
Carrying groceries, maybe kids, dealing with bad weather, real life needs.
Precisely. And the Segway, it just didn't really slot into that existing system very well, did it?
No. I mean, it was slower than a bike for many things, way more expensive.
And kind of awkward. How do you carry your shopping? Take your kid to school on it? Commute a long distance?
Yeah, the practicalities were just unclear.
And yeah, people made fun of how it looked. And the price was high, for sure.
But Hall says that wasn't the real problem.
Right. Her point is, people will buy expensive, even kind of weird-looking things if they actually solve a genuine need. Think about early cars, maybe.
Good point.
The fundamental issue, she argues, was that the Segway didn't solve a meaningful problem within that existing transportation context.
So it was a solution looking for a problem, almost.
You could say that. It ignored how people already moved, what they needed to do, the infrastructure already in place.
And that really hammers home the chapter's main message, doesn't it? Context is everything.
Absolutely paramount. You can't design in a vacuum. No matter how clever your tech is, you have to understand the world your design is entering.
The existing behaviors, the real needs.
It's not just about the Segway being a flop, it's about why. Any innovation can fail if it ignores the user's reality.
So before you even think about designing a thing, you need to understand the person and their world.
That's the core idea. Okay, so if understanding context is so vital, why does research sometimes get pushed aside?
Yeah. Hall tackles that too. This idea of the lone genius designer.
Right, the myth that great ideas just pop out of someone's head, fully formed.
Which makes it hard to admit, actually, I don't know the answer here. We need to find out. It makes people kind of resistant to research.
And she talks about environments where that resistance really takes hold, like places driven by pure enthusiasm, gut feel.
Or the opposite, constant firefighting, no time to breathe, let alone investigate.
Or just reacting to competitors all the time. In those situations, research can feel, scary.
Like an extra cost. A delay.
Yeah, or like admitting you don't have all the answers, which can feel risky. The immediate hassle seems bigger than the potential long-term gain.
But Hall flips that perspective. She says research isn't a hurdle, it's a tool. Like what was the analogy?
A periscope. I love that. It lets you see clearly before you commit to a direction.
Right. It gives you a better view of the whole situation. Applied properly, it can actually save time and money.
Definitely. By making sure you're solving the right problem from the start.
Okay, so what are the key benefits she outlines?
Well, first, figuring out if you're even working on the right problem. That's huge.
Makes sense. What else?
It can help you understand, internal company stuff, potential roadblocks, find competitive advantages you didn't know you had.
Okay, and understanding customers better, obviously.
Deeply understanding what actually motivates them, not just what they say, but why they do things.
And finding those small changes that can make a big difference.
Exactly. High-impact tweaks. And, maybe most importantly, uncovering your own biases. The assumptions you didn't even know you had.
Oof, yeah. That's a big one. Makes you think, doesn't it? How often do we jump to a solution because of our own assumptions?
All the time, probably. So getting just enough knowledge, as she calls it, isn't about academic papers. It's about making smarter choices,
And she defines research pretty simply, right, as systematic inquiry.
Yeah, basically just having a structured way to learn more about something specific, tailored to what you actually need to know.
So not just random guessing, but maybe planning some interviews or watching users or looking at data with a goal.
Exactly. And she distinguishes between different types. There's pure research, just expanding knowledge.
Like in academia.
Right. Then applied research using existing knowledge to solve a real-world problem, like applying psychology to website navigation.
Okay. And the third one?
Design research. That's the one that's really baked into the design process. It's all about understanding the people you're designing for.
Your users. Understanding their behaviors, their experiences.
Yeah, seeing how they react to early ideas, prototypes, shedding light on the unknowns as you go, iterating.
Making sure the final design actually works for them.
And a key part of that, she stresses, is looking at familiar things like they're brand new, challenging your own assumptions.
Like her example of the Science Center, wanting a better website. Don't just redesign, ask questions first. Find out what's really needed.
Precisely. Ask questions, find answers. Don't just go with gut feel or superficial stuff.
And she's also really clear about what research isn't.
Oh, yeah. It's not just asking people, do you like this?
Right, because like BS is subjective, and it doesn't predict if someone will actually use something or find it useful.
Exactly. And it's not a political tool either. You don't do research just to prove your point or shut someone else down.
Or just to confirm what you already believed. Confirmation bias.
Right. And while it uses scientific thinking, applied research and design isn't pure science focused only on statistical significance. The goal is useful insights, practical knowledge.
So the book is positioned as a practical guide then, for people making design decisions.
Yeah, giving accessible techniques, showing how to actually use the insights you gather.
And she basically equates research with critical thinking.
Pretty much. Encouraging everyone to have that mindset of inquiry, of asking why.
It really does make you pause and think, how often do we, rush ahead without really getting that full context, without understanding the deep needs?
What assumptions might be guiding your decisions right now without you even realizing it? That's the question she leaves you with.
A really powerful question to consider before jumping into any solution. What might you be missing by not asking enough questions first? So that's a wrap on Chapter 1 of Erika Hall's Just Enough Research.
A really strong start. Lays out the why and the what very clearly.
Definitely a foundational chapter. Huge thanks to Erika Hall for putting this kind of thinking out there in such an accessible way.
It really is an empowering book for anyone involved in making things for people.
So if this deep dive got you thinking, maybe spark some ideas or questions.
Yeah.
Perhaps share it.
Yeah, with your colleagues, anyone in design, research, product, anyone curious, really.
Think about how that just enough principle might apply to what you're working on right now.
What questions could you be asking?
Join us next time on UX Research Sutra. We'll be carrying on with Just Enough Research, chapter by chapter.
And looking at other key books in UX, design thinking, behavior, lots more to explore.
We're looking forward to it. Until then, keep learning, keep questioning.
And keep designing with purpose.